Bienvenidos al episodio sobre la gramática número 100 de Inglés, escuche y aprende. Un episodio muy especial en el que celebramos todo lo que hemos aprendido juntos en gramática. ¿Y qué mejor manera de hacerlo que con un tema que realmente hace que el inglés suene natural? Las contracciones. Si alguna vez te has preguntado cuándo y cómo usarlas en el mundo de negocios, este episodio es para ti. Hablaremos de su uso en correos electrónicos, reuniones, presentaciones y llamadas profesionales. Así que si aún no lo has hecho, suscríbete al podcast y compártelo con alguien que necesite mejorar su inglés en el trabajo. Ahora sí, vamos al episodio. Let's talk about contractions. If you've been learning English for a while, you know what they are. They're shortened versions of words formed by combining two words and replacing missing letters with an apostrophe. For example, I am becomes I'm. They will becomes they'll. Cannot becomes can't. Simple, right? But here's the tricky part. Should you use them in business communication? And if so, when? Let's break it down. Why do contractions matter? Contractions are an essential part of spoken English. In fact, native speakers use them all the time. When contractions are missing, speech sounds overly formal, even robotic. Imagine these two sentences. We are going to review the report tomorrow versus we are going to review the report tomorrow. The first one is correct, but it sounds stiff. The second one sounds much more natural and conversational because that's how people actually speak. Now, let's talk about written English. Specifically, let's talk about contractions in written business communication. Should you use contractions in business writing? The answer is, it depends. In emails and business messages, using contractions makes your writing sound more approachable and friendly. For example, I'd like to schedule a meeting instead of I would like to schedule a meeting. What's the best practice? Use contractions when writing to colleagues, clients you know well, or internal teams. Here's when to avoid them. In formal documents, like legal papers, office reports, or contracts, or if you're writing to someone in a very formal setting. Here's a quick test. If you'd say it with a contraction in conversation, it's probably fine to write it that way in an email. What about using contractions, though, in business speech? What about those meetings and presentations? In meetings and calls, contractions make you sound natural and fluent. Saying, we are not available on Friday, instead of we're not available on Friday can make you sound too rigid. There are exceptions, however, because clarity matters. Some contractions like can't and won't can be misheard when you're speaking quickly. If the connection is bad or the setting is noisy, it's better to say cannot instead of can't to avoid misunderstandings. In presentations, using contractions makes your speech more engaging and less robotic. But don't overuse them if the audience is international. Clear pronunciation is key. There are some common mistakes that you'll hear with contractions, and let's talk about some of the classics. First of all, mixing up homophones. We have its and we have its. One is a contraction of it is, and we use the apostrophe with that one. But then we have the its, which is the possessive, It belongs to it. So just make sure you're using the correct one, particularly when you're writing. There's another one, which is you are, which with an apostrophe is your, and this sounds the same as the possessive your. So make sure when you're writing that you use the correct one. The same thing happens with there, and there. Only one of these is a contraction, and it's with an apostrophe there. They are. Also, there's a confusion between won't and can't. Won't is a contraction of will not, and it's irregular. So don't try to form it as willn't. Haha. Can't is sometimes misheard as can. So be careful with the pronunciation, and if you're in doubt, say cannot. Now, I'll say a sentence without contractions, and you make the sentence with contractions. We'll try 3. Let's start with number 1. We will send the proposal by Monday. Number 2. I cannot join the meeting tomorrow. And number 3. They are reviewing the document now. Now, think about an email you recently wrote. Could you have made it sound more natural with contractions? Si quieres más explicaciones y ejercicios para dominar las contracciones en diferentes contextos, solicita el documento Adéntrate en el episodio en beingles.ca enviándome un mensaje con el botón de WhatsApp. Las contracciones no son informales, son parte del inglés real. Usarlas estratégicamente te hará sonar más fluido, más natural y en muchos casos más profesional. Gracias por escuchar.